Okay. I was on mute and vibrate. I'm not sure this other one. This is a cheap one. Then do what's gonna do what's gonna hold. Yeah. Them they call them so unreliable, so they know that. It's a tree. Good morning to the media. Good morning to wherever my voice is being heard and being seen. My name is Earl Bennett, and I'm the president of the Grenadines Calypsonians Association. We are indeed happy to have you here as an audience, wherever you are, as we update you on all matters regarding Calypso for the 2025 Vincent Mass. We are always grateful for the press, the media, to spread the gospel of Calypso. You will hear from the tents, and you will hear from me. Way before I go into Calypso, I want to take this opportunity to commend and applaud the CDC for a magnificent start and the excellent start to Vincent Mass 2025. And I speak specifically about the launch that took place on the 11th of May, or was it 10th of May? 10th of May. 10th of May. It was a spectacle. It was a spectacle to behold, so congratulations to all involved. And just recently, on May 18th in New York, we saw the New York edition of the launch of Vincent Mass 2025. So once again, my congratulations to all persons involved in bringing off that magnificent show. As I said, this is primarily about Calypso. And Calypso is the heartbeat of Carnival. And when I refer to Calypso, by now you know what I'm going to say. You know I say that Calypso is the all-embracing umbrella. And under it, you have Kaiso, that people normally call Calypso, which is traditional Calypso. We have a raga soca, which I have to boast, and I'm proud to say we are the creators of a raga soca. And of course, we have soca. So this morning, you're going to hear from the various tents. And the names of the tents that are active in the Grenadines and in the diaspora are Again, I have to pause as I introduce Marvel O'Brien Morgan, who's representing Dynamites. And I pause here deliberately because we have, as an association, as a country, the unique distinction of having the only tent in diaspora, and that tent is Dynamite Calypso tent. Next to me is Bomani Charles, a household name in culture and the entertainment scene. He represents the upstage experience. On my immediate left, we have Glenroy Delfresh, aka Homie, well known in the circle, not only in Carnival but outside of Carnival. You can find him at the cruise ship board when the tourist season is on. And to my far left, my schoolmate, when I say schoolmate, we entered grammar school the same year, Elvis Abbey, better known as Abijah, representing the Anto Calypso tent. So without further ado, I now introduce and welcome to the microphone Mrs. Marvel O'Brien Morgan to update you on the Dynamite Calypso tent.
Good morning to everyone. I just want to say a very special welcome to the media. We are always happy when you take the time out to come and spread the gospel, as Cabo said, about Calypso. So my name is Marvel O'Brien Morgan, as Cabo would have indicated. I am also a proud member of the Unto Calypso tent, but today I am representing Dynamite Calypso tent, because whenever I'm in the diaspora, I also do a lot of work with them. Dynamite is cultural organization because we want that name to be established, home of the Dynamite Calypso tent, and they will be judging on preliminary judging on June 7th. That will take us into the preliminary judging, and their judging will be done at Nazareth Regional High School, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11207. And their cast would include Prasanna, Ulrich Hamlet, Dennis Bowman, Oscar James, Josan, Human Age Rejector, Gregory Olive. And we have some newcomers coming as well. Bowman, who used to be here with the Grenadines Calypsonians tent, and Abby Lenisi. All these are persons who would have taken part here in Simmons and the Grenadines and would have moved to the diaspora. And also, we might be seeing one of Graduates members as well, because she's in the US. Nubian Empress might be on that cast as well. So they have a cast that will have 10 persons who will be facing the judging on preliminary night. So they will kick off the preliminary judging. So we wish them all the best. And we thank them for leading the way, and hope that other Caribbean islands will follow in their footsteps and establish a tent.
What the Dynamic representative answer says, the Dynamic Calypso tent has been named the organization. The organization is now named Dynamic Cultural Organization because they want to live with all things culture. And so it is now Dynamic Cultural Organization, the home of the Dynamic Calypso tent. So I'm helping the organization to get that established. Without further ado, I now move to, as I say, a superstar in the entertainment business and a member of the Upstage Experience, Mr. Randy Charles, aka Bomani.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Good morning to the members of the media or listening this morning on VC3 and the various media outlets. This morning I'm sitting in for the president or the chairperson of the Upstage Calypso Experience, Ms. Chanel McKenzie, and she has tasked me with the duty of disseminating information for Upstage activities this year. I'd like to begin by making mention of the cast this year. A full roster of Calypsonians, both experienced and relatively new to the scene. We have Sheena, one of the beautiful voices of the art form. Broom, Lord have mercy, who is a veritable experienced Calypsonian. the Young King Omani, Lola, Janelle, Chanel McKenzie, Gosnell Cupid, aka GC, Chris, who is not so little anymore, Ilford Hurst, iReality, Lady D, Fire Empress, Jace, Divine, Reigning Monarch, Rayon Madza Primus, Parry, Iceman. This year we'll see the return of former Monarch Manzangi, Rondi, and Ranking Bash. Now this year, Upstage continues to be on the move. We, for many years, have been attempting to follow in the footsteps of I think, Untold, by taking Calypso into the communities. It's well established that Upstage always, it's a tradition now that we can't get away from. We are always in Sandy Bay, and we'll be opening our batting this year again at Miller's Shop in Sandy Bay. I'm sorry, we had a day shift. We'll be opening our batting actually at the Russell's Auditorium for the first event on May 28th. That's towards the end of this month. And then we move into Miller Shop in Sandy Bay for our tradition now of bringing Calypso to the outskirts. On June 6th, we've long established a foothold on the leeward side of the island. And we've always been looking for a place that we can go, can take Calypso on to the wind. Sorry, we long established a foothold on the windward side, and we've been searching for a venue for the leeward side, and we found one last year in Cumberland at the Waffle Sun Entertainment Sports Bar there. Had a marvelous show of great Calypso, along with some legendary Vincent soca artists in the name of Dr. Alison Beckett Cyrus, Posa, and others. So we'll be returning to that venue this year on June the 6th, Cumberland Waffle Sun. And we're back at the Russell's Auditorium June 11th for the preliminary judging night. And also, well, before that, June 4th, we're back at Russell as well. So we'll be 3 times in the Russell Auditorium and twice on the outskirts. One, Sandy Bay on the 1st, Miller's Shop, and on the 6th, we'll be at, June 6th that is, we'll be at Cumberland. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dates that would wrap up the Upstage Experience Calypso presentation for 2025.
Thank you, Bomani. And you will note, once you're a Calypso fan, that in Upstage Experience, there is a father with his 2 children. The father is Gosnell Cupid, and his children are royalty. So far, royalty has eluded him on the national stage, but he himself is royalty. He won St. George's Calypso Monarch several occasions. But Shannon, as we all know, is winningest junior Calypso Monarch in St. Grenadines. She's also a former Queen of Calypso and a Calypso Monarch. And her brother is the reigning junior Calypso Monarch in the secondary school category. And it's filled with royalty. You heard Lord of Mercy, former Monarch, Zangi. Before he left here, he won 4 out of 5 years. And so you're in for a treat. And the other tents also have royalty, and they will elaborate on what they have to offer. So without further ado, I now welcome to the microphone Glenroy Delfish, who will be representing graduates.
Yeah, I want to say special good morning to the media. Special good morning to my fellow Vincentians, my Calypso lovers out there. And we know that you're waiting and anticipating Calypso for 2025. I could tell you this off the bat. Calypso for 2025 is going to be off the hook. Because as you know, this year is a very good year. This year, graduates will be presenting Calypso to the world. We have a fairly big cast this year, and of course, we have 3 shows. We have the first show on the 27th of May, all at the Russell's Auditorium. We have the second show, which is on the 3rd of June, and the preliminaries, which will be on the 10th of June. Now, I'm inviting everybody to come to the Russell Cinema to support, auditorium, to support all the tents, but graduates is going to be off the hook. So make sure you come our first show. It's going to be the 4th show for the season, so you got to be there. The admission is $20. Show time is 8 o'clock. Actually, I heard some news this year that one of the radio stations that don't really play Calypso will be playing a lot of Calypso this year, which is Hot 97. So I'm looking forward to that and to hear those Calypsos. I'm going to read out the cast that we have for 2025. All right. Hero, we have Hero. He is the leader for the tent. He couldn't make it this morning because he's not feeling too well, but he's coming out with a bang. We have Johnny Rebel, Tajo, Buster Ski, Ipa, which is, formerly Anto member, will be kicking it hard this year with the graduates Calypso 10, and of course we welcome him with open arms. We have Patches, and of course, yes, Patches is now a graduate. He was a graduate before also, along with Ipa. So Patches was a former member of the Anto Calypso tent, of course. We welcome him with open arms too, and add it to the cast, make graduates a little more hype for 2025. Also, we have Sonny Banks will be back, and Sonny Banks has got one of those songs that I think all men in St. Vincent and the Grenadines should love and will love, and I can't wait to hear him deliver that song. We have Armstrong will be back, Shaka, Iowa, Alexander. We have a female from Beckway. Her name is Precious J, and she'll be the only female for the tent, as Nubian Empress will be singing with Dynamite. So we have, and of course we have Jigul coming back up, a crowd favorite. He will be singing with graduates also this year. We have Kenny, Obedient Boy, the Mighty Malone, Abuza. We have Mitch coming back after a long time, and Shewali, as indicated, he will be singing a Calypso this year. So that's the cast for graduates. Once again, I want to invite all Vincentians to support all the tents. Come out in your numbers. We want to bring back Calypso to the way it used to be back in the 80s and the 90s, where Russell's Auditorium used to be ramped to capacity. That will be it for me from graduates. Once again, I'm going to turn you back over to the president of the Calypso Association, Mr. Paul Bennett.
Thank you very much, Homie. And again, Calypso lovers would appreciate that in that tent are 2 former monarchs, in the course of 2-time Calypso monarch Tajo and Ipa. And also, because it remisses me if I want to mention Chiwali, because you heard me in my opening salvo indicate that Calypso is Kaiso, Raga Soca, and Soca, and Chiwali is a former Raga Soca monarch. So there's royalty there as well. There's plenty to come out for. Apart from the Calypso, there'll be entertainment as well. But rest assured, the tent has assured me that this year will be fantastic. And I'm using this word fantastic not because I can't use it at another juncture. And you'll understand why I can't use fantastic, as we are accustomed to use fantastic with Calypso. But this year, for that particular show, it will not be a fantastic branded show anymore. But you'll hear more about it as I develop my conversation with you. It's a conversation. Without further ado, in my opening remarks, Eldris Abi, the Abiga.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and members of the media. Thank you for turning out to this press conference, and persons listening out there. The Well, thanks again for leaving the best for last. The on-tour Calypso tent, as usual, is, let me blow my trumpet here, one of the most look forward to Calypso tent in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that has to do with the quality and the style that we produce. This year will be no exception. Could look forward to the usual standard. Let me use this opportunity to name the chaos. This year we're carrying a bigger chaos than last year. We will be carrying 24 members. And that means that new people has joined the tent. We have 5 new members. But let me start the cast that we are producing this year, presenting this year. We have people like John Duggan, seasoned Calypsonian. We have Zianai, everybody know Zianai. We have Mashi, Papa Eistan, he is returning after a little break. There's a newcomer, Papa Niceness. There's Kerry. There's Ninja, Koja. There's Da Vinci, Roots Garden from Beckway. A veteran exposer, a lady by the name of Diamond. We have a newcomer by the name of Andrew Rankin. Soharo, he had a layoff a couple of years, he is back. We have Marvo. We have your humble servant Abijah. Miamo. We have a Calypsonian from North America by the name of Hilton Duncan, and he has shown interest in coming home and sing with the Anto. And we embrace him and we welcome him. We have a Zara. We have the Mansik. We have another newcomer called Borty Banton. We have Tumpai and a lady by the name of Cleopatra. That would be the cast. Also, we have the return of the vibrating skates, and we know what skates can do and what his contribution has been to Calypso in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And from hearing skates, the little piece of song that he thinks, I know he will have a great year. The tent preparation is going well so far. Our ads are on stream. Our rehearsals are on target. We started early from the 22nd of April. We started rehearsals. And it's going fine. This year, the Anto will be adding some additional entertainment outside of the run-of-mill Calypso. We'll be I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but we will have
2-time Calypso. Monarch, right? That's one. You see? Like, am I predicting something? Should have been 3. Well, but you see how you're boasting. You see how you're boasting? I was trying to lift your ego. Yes. So, from the association end, I want to, first of all, ask the tents to be more professional this year. We've had a complaint, it has been resonating with me that we start the tent too late, and as a result, some persons do not come to the tent. That is one of the reasons that persons don't come to the tent. They say we start too late and we end naturally too late. I know that the tents are far better prepared this year. From a marketing viewpoint, I'm impressed with what they have been doing. Some of the tents that didn't have Facebook pages have established Facebook page and other social media pages, so you could see they mean real business. And they can't do it alone. I've often said, and probably it sounds like a broken record, a scratch of CD, it keeps sticking and sticking, but the person involved in Calypso, in Kaiso, for a large part is because of their love for the art form. It is predominantly a labor of love. Believe you me. When every other stakeholder has to be paid, the Calypsonians at times if they don't make the semi-finals or the finals, go away empty-handed. It's their sacrifice. It is their gift to the nation during the carnival season. I know people may ask, why is it they only produce at carnival? But we understand. We understand the nature of the game. The tents want to start earlier, but the reality of the situation is they start earlier, they're going to lose more money. Until we see persons are responding in a more positive manner, then the tent again will go back to 4 shows. Everybody asks why only 2 shows, then the preliminaries is just the circumstances. We strive to have exposure for the Calypsonians. It's a two-way street. We know also we have to produce good entertainment. We know we can't ask you to come out in your numbers and support Kaiso, and then we don't give you the product. So my colleagues here are working extremely hard to give you a good 2025 Calypso season. So again, to echo the words of the late great iconic Calypsonian, Lord Summers, in one of his lines, come out in your numbers. He used to say, you will come out in your underwear. I used to say one time, don't come out in your underwear. Because I literally think he means just come out in your underwear. But yes, come out in your underwear. Because I know all of us have an underwear. So come out in your numbers and come out to the Russell's Auditorium, which is the headquarters for Calypso and Simmons in the Grenadines, and come out in your numbers on the outskirts, Sandy Bay, on the windward side, Cumberland, on the leeward side, and of course, we are international. Because of the internet and cyberspace, we are being heard all over the world. So those of you in New York and surrounding areas, come out in your numbers and support the Dynamite Calypso tent. Again, their preliminary, which is the first, is on Saturday, 7th of June. I move on swiftly to our plans. Now, this year is 50 years since the genius Alston Beckett-Cyrus entered the Calypso Free. And in his very first year, he was crowned Calypso Monarch. As an association, we want to congratulate Alston Beckett-Cyrus, Dr. Alston Beckett-Cyrus, that is. He, along with Frankie McIntosh, has been credited with the creation of Raga Soca. There may be other claims, but I boldly claim that they are the two who created Raga Soca. The others who have the other claims will have to prove me wrong. I will stand with that. I'm a proud Vincentian. So kudos to Alston Beckett-Cyrus. 50 years of Calypso in Simmons and Grenadines. Mind you, he only competed for 2 years. But in the very first year, he won the crown. Also in 1975, saw the introduction of Calypso semifinals. So this is the 50th year, the introduction of Calypso semifinals in Simmons and the Grenadines. As an association, along with the tents, we are planning to have some activities to commemorate and celebrate that 50 years. We're going to look at continue the extempo in the tents. We're going to look at having like the 50 songs chosen by persons, and we're going to get them perform across the tents. And as I said 50, Mr. Delvish Homey mentioned something. He said he heard about the word 50 seemed to be resonating here, about a radio station. He named the radio station Hot FM. And Hot FM is an urban radio station. and it is not known for playing calypso. It's no secret. It's no secret. In fact, they don't have a love affair with calypso. Things seem to be changing this year because the association has been approached by the managing director, Mr. Luke Boy, to produce, in their opinion, the 50 top songs for the last 5 years of calypso. And I deliberately say for the last 5 years of calypso because, as you all know, we had no calypso in 20 and 21 because of COVID. So it cannot be the last 5 years. We are working as citizens on it. We have enlisted the help of persons we think are qualified to help us choose those top 50 calypsos. His request was to give him 10 top calypsos for 5 years, which will make it 50. We welcome, as an association, we welcome any stakeholder who wants to spread the gospel of calypso, who wants to give us a platform to spread calypso. We welcome it, and we'll be working along with Mr. Boy to ensure that calypso is played on the radio station. I think that is a breakthrough. People may have the misgivings, but we want to see the gospel of calypso. And if an urban radio station, and by my reckoning, the most popular radio station in St. Grenadines, and if not the most popular, certainly the most popular amongst the youth. And we know we have a difficulty with calypso with the youth. When I speak the naked truth. I often say to people, as an individual, I am fallible. I will make mistakes. I have made mistakes, and I will continue to make mistakes because I'm an imperfect human being. But one thing I know, when I'm involved in anything, any organization, I give my very best to see it succeed. If it requires sacrifice, I do that. And I can boldly say the same about my colleagues. That is why I often say, and I'll continue to say, when you're involved in the art form, you're involved in sacrificing, you're involved in a labor of love, and there was a calypso by the famous exposer. Maybe his name is a good name, because he exposes the truth in a manner when he says, Billy Button work for nothing. There are many Calypsonians who are Billy Button. They work for nothing. But year come, year go, they are here to entertain you. Now, let us look at the calendar as it relates to Calypso. And I want to remind you all, because when you hear me call some of these shows, you're going to say, that's not Calypso. Remember, as far as I'm concerned, Calypso is Kaiso, Raga Soca, and Soca. I'll tell you this. You think I am just spouting things without any basis. I want any one of you to go to Tuco website or go on Google and look at how they present the winner of the road march. The road march in Trinidad and Tobago are what normal people call power soca, so Trinidad call it power soca. You will see that this state, the winner of the road march is the Calypso. They don't say the power soca. They say is the Calypso. So I am going to now speak to you about the calendar, Vincent Mass, as it relates to Calypso. We kick off the ball on June 22nd with the reintroduction of Soca semifinals. Bacchanal Bay. That is branded as Bacchanal Bay. And Soca, that show includes Raga and Soca on the tarmac on the 22nd of May. It begins at 2 p.m. Hello? June, 2 p.m., 22nd of June. Now, there's a shows committee in the CDC, and of course, they will give you more details as to how this will, the structure, the concept, everything. But I'm giving you the information regarding what is rebranded as, where's the venue, and when it starts. And what I know, this will be something like a cool effect. That's the 22nd of May. You heard me said I deliberated about fantastic, because I will not be allowed to use fantastic again in terms of a brand. And that is because traditionally, the 10 days, the 10 official days of Calypso commences with Calypso semi-finals, known to all of us as Fantastic Friday. That is no longer the case. Another show will take the place of Fantastic Friday. As such, the Calypso semi-finals has been moved to Sunday, 29th of June, and it is branded An Evening with the Legends. And not only is there a name change, there's also a change in venue. Now take place at the cruise ship board. So Calypso semi-finals this An Evening with the Legends will take place at the cruise ship board, Sunday 29th. Next on the calendar, and we always have to embrace them because we need continuity. And this year, I can tell you, you're in for a treat for Junior Calypso. That takes place on the 4th of July, Tuesday, 4th of July, branded Young Voices, Big Vibes. Young Voices, Big Vibes, Junior Calypso Monarch. That encompasses a primary school category, a secondary school category, and then the soap monarch, which is inclusive of both primary and secondary. And we move swiftly to Big Bad Soca Monarch. That speaks for itself. That is Soap Monarch. And that takes place on the 5th of July. To culminate Calypso, on Sunday the 6th, show branded the match grab because it includes Mass and Calypso. But the Calypso finals will be branded Crowns and Legends, the Royal Spectacle. Crowns and Legend, the Royal Spectacle. Calypso finals, Demons Granite, Sunday, 6th July. So as you follow the tents, you will be able to recognize, I'm confident of that, supremely confident, that Calypso semifinals and Evening with the Legends, and thereafter, Calypso final, Crowns and Legend, the Royal Spectacle, will be something that you will want to come to. And remember, there'll also be guest artists. You are, when it gets unfolded, when the CDC got, those are CDC shows. The 10 shows end at the 12th of June. Thereafter, all the shows belong to the CDC. We are in the business of showcasing Calypso, and we are in the business of developing and promoting Calypso. And I'll tell you this. One of the reasons why we were able to do certain things over the last years is because we had a strategic plan. The strategic plan allowed us to reintroduce Queen of Calypso. It allowed us to up our game when it came to accountability and transparency. But that strategic plan needs to be reviewed. And I promise you, the association will be reviewing our strategic plan so we can be armed as we go forward in our campaign to develop and promote our beloved art form, called Calypso. So then, you have been speaking about Queen of Calypso. And you have heard, I'm certain, several of you, heard of speaking about Queen of Calypso. More especially on Nice Radio, and that show we have Android Culture every Monday night, with host Robert Patches Night, Lancelot, Chapman, Vincent, myself have hosted the show several times. Marv has been a regular feature. You had heard us talking about Queen of Calypso. And the Queen of Calypso was actually slated for the end of May. But we recognize, and this year we are closely aligned with the CDC. The CDC Shows Committee has decided to work with us in a close manner. And by their advice, we have been advised to postpone, reschedule the show. It is not off. It will not take place on the date indicated originally, 31st of May. But we want to treat the women as a royalty because we see them as a royalty. Even when we say Queen of Calypso, we say to them, all of you are queens. Somebody will become Queen of Calypso, but in our mind, in our sight, all of you are queens. It's just that somebody or somebody's will walk with the crown. It has never been done before. You can't rule out two persons winning the crown. It has been done before in Trinidad and Tobago, where two persons won the monarch. So look forward. We want to ensure, we want to move it over Russell Auditorium. We want to have it in a place where we think we up the ante. But all that we'll give to you when we have finalized our plans. We don't just think about ourselves. And we all know that last year we had disaster. Because that disaster impacted our lives. And it happened in the carnival season, and it impacted carnival. I don't want to sound sensitive and say it impacted carnival only. It didn't. It impacted our lives larger than it impacted carnival. However, people of Union Island were severely affected. And a friend of mine, Roger Dean Molzak, reached out to me and said to me that the Union Islanders are yearning for Calypso. We are working with him. The date that he had given, I indicated to him that will be working possible because that one is when the tent is in full swing. We are looking at an alternative date where we can put down our Calypsonians and give gratis. And you have to understand this. We're not going to be paid. The Calypso not going to be paid. It's a gain up from their love that they will be going to Union Island sometime. So the people of Union Island who had it so difficult and still have it difficult because of Hurricane Beryl can be entertained by Calypsonians. So Union Island, we are working with Mr. Molzak to bring Calypso to Union again. It's not all bad news. We have decided that we need to honor people where honor is due. We need to exercise gratitude and recognize persons for the human service they have given to Calypso. And this year, the association has decided that we will put forward the name to the Carnival Corporation of the iconic Robert Patches Night to be honored this year. So, Robert Patches Night, and he's more than a Calypsonian. But of course, if we are going to put him forward a candidate, we have to do it because of Calypso. But this man is probably one of the best soul singers in the Caribbean. For certain, he upstaged a famous soul singer when he came here. And that person was Percy Sledge. But as I say, don't want anything, I don't want to be ambiguous, I want to be very clear. We're not presenting Patches because he upstaged Forces Sledge. We are presenting him as a candidate because of his outstanding service to Calypso. Some person believe that Patches just started singing Calypso. Patches actually started singing Calypso in the 60s. He took a break. And because again, you see the context? Because again he was so well known for singing soul that overshadowed the fact that he was a Calypsonian before that. So, Robert Patches Knights will be our candidate. It's a recommendation. We don't have the power to name Patches as an honoree. We could only recommend him. So, let it be known that Robert Patches Knights, or Robert Patches King, I often joke with him because his actual surname is King. I often joke with him and say, you are anti-colonial, but yet you have two colonial names. You are a king and you are a knight. And he smiles, you know, so yes. That's okay. Continuing. This Saturday, 24th of May, the association will be hosting its judges workshop. Last year, Dr. Cleve Scott was the main facilitator. In fact, he was the person who developed the program, and it was another program where it has judges and artists together. And from all reports, it was a resounding success based on the feedback. This year, he's in charge again, and this Saturday, we'll be at the Teachers Credit Union. We want to begin around 9. I am saying this now because the actual program has stated 10 o'clock. But the Teachers Credit Union administrators spoke to me late yesterday, and said to me, because it coincides with an activity that they are having, which is a grow up, they want us to end earlier. So we will have to, because their facility, and we understand it, we'll have to start earlier and end earlier. So Dr. Cleve Scott, I will speak to him about it, but of course, we have to understand and we'll be flexible. So I want to take this appeal to young aspiring judges who hear my voice. You are invited to that activity. We have to build. We must invest in the youth. And we have capable persons out there, because it's not only Kaiso you'll be judging. You'll be judging Raga Soca, and of course, Junior Calypso. We want to give an opportunity. Dr. Scott has a wealth of knowledge, and the other facilitators. There is a facilitator. He is a former chief judge in Barbados. Technology is so important, so critical to the development of our nation and the world as a whole, that he will be facilitating in his hometown Barbados because of the technology. So please come out, we get new ideas. The topics are very pertinent as we plan to ensure that our Calypsonians are adjudicators. We need to do that. So I will stop here for a while because I have more to say, but before that, I want to give Marvo the opportunity to read out the names of all the finalists of the Junior Calypso Seminar. And remember what that is called? Young Voices, Big Vibes.
So the CDC, the Carnival Development Corporation, would like to announce the finalists for the Young Voices Big Vibes Junior Calypso / Soca competition scheduled for Tuesday, July 31st at Cruship Board. Is it Cruship Board or Victoria Park? Victoria Park. The Junior Calypso Primary School, the names are Anik Stapleton, Evesham Methodist School. Name of song, Cyber Dream. Divine Walters, Sandy Bay Government School. Name of song, Under Pressure. Felicia Johnson, Chumaka Government School, Pride and Joy. Katilia Miro, Barrier Anglican School, True Champions. Akira Brown, Evisham Methodist, Education Revolution, What Happened to Bob. Lilani Bascom, Greg's Primary School, My Mommy. Haley Small, South Rivers Methodist, Never Me Can You Destroy. The resolve is Blessing Compton, called the Government School, Children to Be. Junior Calypso Secondary School, Princess Alexia Dishong, Sandy Bay Secondary School, Tell Me Why. Kirika McCall, St. Joseph Convent, Maricopa, One Mother's Cry is All Mothers Cry. Cassinique Williams, Georgetown Secondary School, Treat Me Right. Zion Lewis, St. Joseph Convent, Kingston, Don't Get Caught Up. Amelia Glasgow, St. Joseph Convent, Kingston, Love is the Key. Julissa Byron, Sandy Bay Secondary School, Thank You, Iron Man. Jaden Ball, St. Vincent Grammar School, Build Back the Family. The resolve is Ariana Mead, Sandy Bay Secondary School, A Come For Me Crown. Junior Soca Monarch finalists, Princess Alexia Dishong, Sandy Bay Secondary School, Licky Licky, and you see her in both competitions as well. That's Lexi, and I don't know if persons would have heard, she has done a collaboration with Matt Skull, so you need to listen out for that as well. Rilani Bascom, Greg's Government School, Granny Indie Party. Malik John, Sandy Bay Secondary School, Bad Temper. Joel Mason, Dr. J.P. Eustace, We Reach. Gilani Sandy, Dr. J.P. Eustace, Crown City. Shakira Johnson, Greg's Primary School, It's Not a Normal Fit. Kyron Adams, Sandy Bay Secondary School, Van Man. Colin Jr. Small, Sandy Bay Secondary School, Water Truck. The resolve is Amina Lucas and Tyler Douglas from the Dorchester Hill Primary School. We Can Dance too. The defendant and for the soca.
The reason I asked Marvo who's defending champs, the defending champion at soca. I don't know how many of you are able to experience the launch that was branded start. That happened on the 10th of May at the tarmac, the decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport. I wasn't able to, as years gone by, experience it in the manner which I did because I was in the association bar. But from my vantage point, she seemed to have been the star of the show. Last year's Junior Soca Monarch. And I saw a clip where she was telling them to come to Victoria Park. And I am joining with her and say to you, come to Victoria Park. Because the way you responded to that young lady on the tarmac on May 10th, you could expect much more. Not from her alone, but from our competitors. Now, to move on to some other initiatives that the association is undertaking, we are changing our logo. I think it's time for us to rebrand, and we change our logo. We have former she's a Calypsonian, but she's now a Australian, Gillian Smart. She is looking at our logo, and we're trying to present a new logo. So look forward to that. That's why it's not here on our association banner. And we have said for many years that we would really ideally like to have a most humorous calypso competition. Because we all like humor. Laughter is the best medicine, they say. But regrettably, we don't have enough Calypsonians singing humorous calypso for us to have a humorous calypso competition. But we understand the critical importance of humor in calypso. So over the years, we have awarded, in our opinion, we have asked us to judge it, what is the most humorous calypso of the year, and we have awarded that Calypsonian. She has been the most prolific winner over the years, and we started off actually sponsoring it. That's the association. But after the first 2 years, a friend of mine, who incidentally saved by my going off on a tangent, she was here for her last brother's consecration as a canon leader. And I said it because it has reference. It has what we talk about. I said spiritual practice. It has relevance. Because we know tomorrow we'll be celebrating for the first time National Spiritual Baptist Day. So she's here for her brother's consecration as a canon leader. This took place Sunday evening of May, which incidentally was her 4th year anniversary. I'm saying this because she is the person who has given us the money because her brother was a Calypso fan. His name was Richard Abide Saunders, and he died suddenly. And she decided, in honor of the memory of her brother, to sponsor the most humorous Calypso. So this year again, the most humorous Calypso is on the cards. I'm going to allow you now to field questions to the members. Nobody it's a Calypso Association press conference media briefing, and if you could recall, every time we have a media briefing for the Calypso Association, it has only been the members of the tent and myself and other members of the executive. For example, Patrick DiPiero, he's been here at times, but you know, he just came back from New York, so just
because I would like to ask you now. I would like to boast about dynamite in only 5% on Kaika.
Yeah,
outside that.
right.
When you look at it, I mean, like 10 kites on it. And then call it sending people up with the churches and all this kind.
Right.
And we talk about Calypso labor and all that kind. Calypso and they can just say, getting much of pre-order. Well, how we look at that, the expenses involved, taking care of better.
Well, how about I look at it this way. That they are our brothers and sisters. Water has divided us, and there's a historian. And you mean history more than I do. I've not been involved intimately at the administrative level for many years. Certainly, when this thing started, I wasn't there. It was not always so. And persons like that Vincent, others who are here, who have been involved much longer than I am, no. There was a time when all Calypsonians had to come to St. Grenadines to be judged, and then go back home, because we have to understand when you work in New York, it is not easy. They have to go back home and come back to St. Grenadines if they made the semifinals. Now, the powers to be, during that time, decided that they would allow the Calypsonians based in New York to form their own tent and to be judged in New York. We have made progress because initially, I think the conditions were Dynamites had to play for 2 judges, and I'm happy with the winner because at that time the US sent 3 judges, and the conditions, I believe that Dynamites had to play for 2. Okay, so let's go again. Then right now, so there's an agreement between CDC and the Calypsonians in New York. Anything for development of Kaiso, I am for it. I am front and center. Is that expensive exercise? Yes, it is. Is that necessary as far as I'm concerned? Yes, it is. But I'm going down history. We now have 5 judges going to New York because the Calypsonians complained they were not comfortable with 3 judges judging them every year. And that was they had to go to New York. So they had to cut expenses. So because of financial constraints,
So
it did.
5 judges.
Yeah.
Calypsonian.
Yeah, you have 5 judges. Yeah, you have 5 judges. Let me answer your question. Let me answer your question. So, after the complaints of the Calypsonians, we decided to put 5 judges until this day. It has evolved in such a way that the CDC basically take care of the expenses of air travel. From Dynamite paying for 2 for the CDC. When the 5 judges came into effect, the Calypsonians Association, it was done on the condition that the Calypsonians Association paid the expense for the additional 2. And we were able to do so because Steve Joachim, Chumosty Company, paid for 1 of the passages, and Stella Boy, the famous Stella Boy of netball fame, and her husband, and a lady who has since passed on, Nelson was his sister, can't remember her name now, paid for the other one. But to answer your question, if you think, you see, if we start to think about the culture in terms of money, then, yeah, if we start about the money, then we could all speak about other things.
Okay, another question. They say the CDC were having a judges workshop sometime Saturday.
Yeah.
And how come they not having anything to the Calypsonians themselves to sing?
Yeah, well, that is something. What we are doing this year is having both judges and Calypsonians, as I said. Okay? No, it's important that we also look at the Calypsonians. We have done so over the years, and as I said to you, I am fallible, and as leader of this organization, I am not going to duck any question. I'm not going to shift any blame. Where blame has to be laid, it must be laid at my feet. Any misstep, any mistake, all Carl Bennett will claim them, nobody else, because I am the leader. Should we have had a workshop for Calypsonians? Of course. But we didn't have one. What we're doing, trying to do, the next best thing is to have the Calypsonians and the judges together.
Okay, yeah. Larissa, SBG TV. I was wondering if there is screening for the Calypsonians with their lyrics at any point.
The
Screening.
Well, I know some things have taken that initiative because, as you know, from the semi-final level, there's screening.
Complications.
Well, from the graduates' perspective, what we do, we will listen to the song, listen to the Calypsonian, and most of the time, some of the time, the executive will listen to the lyrics of the song, and sometimes if we figure they need help, because some of the new Calypsonians will need help with the lyrics because they're not used to writing calypso, so we will assist, and if there are lyrics that we find that are going to create problems, we will advise as to change those lyrics, as to we don't have any problems with the calypso in the text.
Yes, well, from the upstage experience perspective, we've had a long-standing vetting process, which includes auditions where lyrics can be examined. Whilst we make room for creativity and we tend not to want to stand in the way of Calypsonians expressing themselves in the art, because that's what the art form is about. We are also mindful that we must protect the organization particularly against potential slander, libel, or defamation. And so therefore we've set up mechanisms where if something is flagged, we would forward it to legal counsel that represents the organization for advice, and we would work with the Calypsonians to ensure that we lessen the exposure of the Calypsonian and of the organization. And so that's proven over the years to be relatively successful as we strike the balance between, as I said, freedom of expression, creativity, and responsible expression of the art form. Hopefully that answers.
So from the Dynamite's perspective, in terms of Calypso, I think over the years that most of the Calypsonians who are in Dynamite's Calypso tent, they would have started here on this platform, and then because they migrated to overseas, they're in this tent. So they each help one another, and there are musicians in the tent as well. So the lyrics can be vetted by all of the Calypsonians in the tent, because we want to have the balance and we want to have the freedom of speech, as Bumani would have indicated. You don't want to stifle person's creativity, and Dynamite's Calypso 10, we're trying not to do that. So the lyrics are vetted, but we allow you to express yourself. So in that expression, once anything needs to be changed, we each help one another.
What assurance can you give the audience that a man would any change the lyrics anytime he goes?
There's no assurance, absolutely none, because you're not the individual. That is why they have to put something in place, a contract that indemnifies them from if you go and change your lyric. Much the same as CDC does at the semi-final level. We've been asking this all the time to start at the 10th level, because if you come at the semi-finals and you sing, CDC asks you to sing and the vet the lyric. It is done from a legal export, and then it is passed. If you change those lyrics, because CDC will have on record the lyrics that you submitted, if you change your lyrics and you want to defame somebody or say something out of the way, it's on you. So, good question, and there's absolutely no assurance that somebody can change your lyrics. So you're not a robot and you don't control it.
We would have an example. We have an example of that happening in the Anto tent some years ago, and a particular Calypsonian sang one set of lyrics in the auditions and in the rehearsals, and then made changes on show night, and the executive moved that certain disciplinary action was taken, that Calypso was asked to sit out the season and don't sing for the rest of the season. Of course, there was a public outcry, and people called to boycott the tent and all of that. But you have no control over what a man feels to do on the night. The best laid plans sometimes go awry. So we have certain disciplinary action set up that if someone violates that, they know the consequences. But as we say, we have no control over what the person does on that night.
So, let me just continue. Once again, encourage the tents to have a signed document that could indemnify you. Make certain you have something in writing. So if you don't have that in writing, then you are exposed.
So how you progressing it? How you progressing when it comes to revising the strategic direction the Calypso?
Well, we just started, and we started last week. Yeah, because we decided, we need to do it.
Before that, you also mentioned accountability and transparency.
Yeah.
How you then those areas. You're making plans and you're planning to accountability and transparency.
Yeah, because what we do it up front. If anybody wants to,
I know,
yeah.
for example, there was like a little bit of, because the friction is one of the association. How to mesh in between those.
Well, let me say this way, because we had never really had any conflict with the. I'm telling you, CDC, not the Calypso Association. CDC, Calypso Association we never had any conflict with the thing. In truth and in fact, let me tell you this: under the CDC Act, only the Calypsonian Association can bargain. Only they have legally bargaining powers. Right. So what the CDC has done this year is try to accommodate the association. What's what was the name? I don't like call name. I want to give its correct name. Okay? But the association and that group never had any conflict. In fact, we facilitated them because they could not meet with CDC. They didn't have any standing. Yeah, so we didn't have any conflict. So you never had any conflict with them. Any other questions? As I said before, it has been rescheduled at a date to be announced. We're looking at all the logistics. We're looking at that because we don't want to have it at the auditorium anymore. So we're looking for a suitable venue. We actually had earmarked one, but that came unavailable because of the sudden death of the owner. Yeah, we had earmarked Sunset Shores, and I don't know if you know that the owner died probably a month or so ago. So we are, and let me just take this opportunity to express the Calypsonians Association and indeed my deepest condolences to the family of the owner of Sunset Shores who passed away. Because in the past, they have been good to Calypso. At the time when they hosted, when Gaylene Quick was the manager, when they actually and Romani hosted his 20th anniversary activity there, event there. So yes, the idea is to make the Queen show more appealing. We refer to the ladies as Queen and don't treat them royally.
Just suppose I look away from the water now. Why didn't you talk to Queen show? There's enough cake show.
Yeah. Well, the Calypso Queen show, as I said, was born out of the strategic plan. Because at that time, we had few females. There's a disproportionate number of females to male. And that's one of the reasons why we reintroduce the Queen of Calypso. There are many persons with different thoughts. Sometimes when you make reference, people say, don't make reference because we live in Stevenson, but Trinidad and Tobago have a Queen of Calypso.
But if you notice over the years now, Calypso regular, we are a woman, so Calypso, so it's come like a 1, 2, 3, 4 by the cherry.
I hear you, but we create a platform for the Queen of Calypso, you know. So
just a thought that I think could be extended. I think that approach was successful. If you identify that at that particular time, you had a disproportionate number of female participation in Calypso, and you introduced an activity to encourage that, and then 10 years down the road, you're seeing, I can speak for upstage, roughly half of upstage cast is female. Then that speaks to some level of success there, which perhaps can be applied to the subgenres, because I've been around long enough to see a decline in female participation, specifically toward recording in the raga, soca, and soca genres. A few years ago, when I was a little younger, we had about maybe 12, 13, 15 ladies who were consistent in their participation in recording soca and raga soca music. Today, we have seen a decline, and so perhaps a model can be looked at in a similar fashion to create that interest and generate that participation.
This makes sense, because if you say decline, then you have to try and stem the tide. I'm here to give a business. I'm not going to engage. How many females do you have? How many females do you have?
We have 4.
Okay. Yeah, so I understand, because I understand your sentiments, but as an association, until the association, the members say, start the Queen of Calypso, we will go ahead with the Queen of Calypso. Because every opinion, every sentiment must be heard, must be addressed.
And need encouragement too.
Yeah, so. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you. No, you're never boring, Koja. You're never boring. That is why we have this media briefing here. We must be drilled. Once we are respectful, no. That's why me and the team, that's why I am here with the team. Okay? You're not boring. You're asking tough questions that deserve answers. Okay? I am not going to be the proverbial asterisk. No. I'm not going to put my head in the sand. No, my brother. When are you going to what? Well, we're working on it. So Jillian is working on it. We were hopeful that we'll get it before the 10th season start. But there's already. Yeah. Well, this banner here. Yeah. This banner, right? Because we know we were in the works. We want a presence because in the past we have not had a presence in this venue. We just come here with nothing in the back there to identify who the association is, who the organization is. Okay. We work on the logo. Okay. All right. Logo sometimes we just work on the logo. Logo sometimes don't have to represent. Don't have to put this, that. There could be a single symbol that could be interpreted as recognizing and embracing them. But I'm not equipped in that sphere of activity. That's why I'm not doing it. I have my limitations, and the sport will deal with that. Ladies and gentlemen, if there are any more questions, thank you, Koja. That's William Anthony. He's a Calypsonian who sings out of the Anto Calypso tent. So we have the Vinci, who's the acting secretary treasurer. So let's recognize you, Da Vinci Lancer, Chapman known as Da Vinci, to all the persons here. To all the persons here, the media, VC3, you have been faithful to us. We call on you, and you come to assist us in spreading the gospel of Calypso. We are indeed grateful, and we urge you to continue to support us. Support us by using your medium to the various Calypso tents, if you can help them out. Do what you can do, because we certainly cannot do it by ourselves. We embrace all the help. You say gratitude is a must. And I know that we are greedy entities and individuals who have contributed one way or the other to ensure that the tents will kick off this year. I am certain there must be some level sponsorship. And we want to thank whoever those entities are who have not just start the talk. They have walked the walk in supporting Calypso, Kaiso, Raga Soka. On the depths of my heart, I say thank you. Follow us as we continue on this noble journey of ensuring that Calypso is developed and promoted. Thank you.